Hi guys, so as the results are coming in and the Tories in the south of England are getting trashed along with those Conservatives in Scotland, the question seems to have shifted to why are the red wall seats still voting for Boris Johnson's party? Some will say that it's down to Brexit and that the Labour Party were insulting Brexit supporters following the result of the referendum. I think the issue is a bit more complex than that, but this brings us to this cringy video from Gammon Brexit News, where you have an ex-Labour MP asking current Shadow Minister Baroness Chapman if she should, and wait for this, apologise for Labour's position on a second referendum.
Whilst you and I bear the scars of the Brexit debate on our back, I'm sure we've still both got PTSD. But, you know, because of what happened and the disrespect that many of those voters who haven't come back, that's where the Labour Party has got problems. I was on the fence about whether Labour needed to apologise for how it tried to thwart the results of that Brexit referendum. I have now come off the fence, and I think that Labour do need to apologise to get a hearing from the voters where, in those towns where the vote has gone backwards in some of those towns. Yeah. What do you think? Does Labour need to apologise?
Okay, before we hear from Baroness Chapman, apologise for what? Brexit is a disaster. Businesses are suffering because of Brexit. If there had been a second referendum, it's not guaranteed that the people would have voted to remain in the EU after that. But looking at the result of what has happened, Brexit was a mistake. And a majority of people in the country realise that. Brexit is going to destroy the union. Who today is supportive of Brexit? Now, you're going to hear from Baroness Chapman in a moment, but apologise once again for what? Thwarting Brexit? I thought it was democratic. Wasn't it democratic to have a vote? Wouldn't it be democratic to have another vote? If the majority of people supported remaining in the EU following a second referendum, how is that thwarting Brexit? Isn't that a demonstration of democracy? This is something I struggle to understand, why people have a problem with that.
I'm happy to. You know, I am really happy to. I think asking people to think again about that referendum was the wrong thing to ask them to do. I haven't got a single issue about saying that. But we've got to move forward now. You know, we're out the EU. No one wants to go through any of that again, least of all you and me, Gloria. And we've got to make, you know, a success of where we are. We're outside the EU. We've got opportunities. Look at some of the stuff the Labour Party with Nick Thomas-Symonds has been saying about trade deals and new relationships around the world. We're in a new reality now, and we've got to kind of, what's done is done, and we've got to move forward, and it's going to be good. We've got a lot to be confident about. There are things we can do around procurement and tendering now that we couldn't have done before. So let's seize those new things that we can do, and let's, you know, bring jobs and prosperity to the north of England. That's what I came into politics to do. That's what I'm all about, and you know, that's where Keir Starmer wants to take us.
Now, I noticed she didn't. I don't know if she's playing 4D chess here with us. She's avoiding using certain language. Now, she's trying to paint a positive picture here. Yes, we've left. We have to respect that. Okay. She didn't say opportunities here. She didn't mention any opportunities. So I think she's attempting to not be fully on board with Brexit, but try to say, look, this is where we are and this is what we have to do. Now, this whole idea of apologising, look, if it serves some political purpose to convince people who still believe that Brexit was a good idea, to convince them to vote for the Labour Party, if it requires a politician to say, I'm sorry, if that convinces them to vote Labour instead of voting Tory, then do it. Okay? Be pragmatic about this. I think it's a stupid thing to do, but if that's what it takes to convert certain people who used to vote Labour, then voted for Boris Johnson in 2019, and have no intention of voting for the Labour Party again, and all you need is to say, I'm sorry, and that will convince them, then do that. It's ridiculous. It was a bad idea to go along with Brexit. Many of these people are probably suffering the consequences of Brexit. They're seeing higher food prices. Maybe some of them are working in companies that used to export and now they're struggling to export, or they're not exporting at all. They have completely closed down. Look, it's a ridiculous idea to apologize for something that you were right about. But if that's what it takes to convert some people over to your party, then do that. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.